I've been interested in one of these amps for a while, and Chris saw this one come up on Facebook for £195 is what I've ended up paying for it. This is a Line 6 DT50, and I think at the time it was kind of a big deal. I think the DT25 is the one that people like the most, but I think it might be fair to say that these are the most respected Line 6 amps. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. What we've got going on here, I guess, it was initially made to kind of link up with the Pod HD, I think. Got a Line 6 link on it. It's got real tubes in the power amp section, I guess. A big transformer, an XLR out here. Lots of speaker options. This, I think, might be quite important. An actual good speaker. And the first thing that you probably notice when you pick one up is it is really quite heavy. And I've sort of got a feeling that heft and weight to tone and moving a lot of air has a lot to do with a speaker and speaker enclosure that is put together and has some weight to it. I also could be wrong about that, but yeah, let's turn it on and see what it's like. So if I had to give one kind of negative thing that's happening here, I can see that the XLR output has quite a lot less kind of low end than you're getting in the room with this. I guess maybe it's emulating like a Shure SM57 or something like that. But you know, I think I'll show you the camera audio, but the sound in the room is quite a lot fuller than what's coming out through that XLR output. So that's something worth knowing. It's heavy, very heavy. I wasn't as impressed with the clean tones, I don't think, as I was with the Line 6 Catalyst, but the heavier tones, I think the added weight of the cabinet, probably a better speaker, and these elements I think might make this still worth a look if you're one of those guys who's looking for an amp that is incredibly loud, I guess, but can do drive tones. I don't know, it's still probably not the solution for a lot of you guys, but I still think this might be the best Line 6 amp. It could be, I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I think it's actually pod amp models in there, so possibly plugging a Helix into this might yield even better results. I'll try that. Let me know if you've got any thoughts on that and you've tried it, or if maybe some of you guys might even use one of these. To me, I think this could have utility for the gigging guitarist, especially given that I picked this up for like £180. I think they were quite expensive when they actually came out. So it's not worlds apart from a normal kind of tube amp. I have a feeling that the important part of, or the most important part of a tube amp is not only the power amp tubes, but also the kind of enclosure and stuff that you're in. Anyway, so we're on channel A. We've got kind of pentode triode options and all of these topology options for each, and I think it's certainly not quite. So let's take everything up half. This is my first time really hearing it, so I think channel A and B can be the same, so we'll just concentrate on that. We've got standby on. We've got Class A or Class AB. Pento's triode. I think triode's quieter. That's not mind-blowingly loud, so what could we do? Volume. If we pull out the master, what do we get? I think it's just basically like a volume thing. So if I see one classic American clean take, the bass up to here, we've got this cheat sheet on the top here. Treble, presence all the way down, reverb down, volume all the way up. So if I take the master up a bit more, ow, my ears. Right, push it in, I think we get a bit. It's not super bassy. I'd say it might be a little bit on the spiky side. So if I switch it to Class A, is that even spikier? Okay, so that's kind of some idea of what channel 1 might sound like. As you increase the drive, you get a bit more of the kind of the big bass. Right, so let's try 2. So this is amp 2 now. I'll go into Class A mode. Same volume full, but that seems like a bad idea to me. Got a bit of tube rattle happening there. Take the volume down a bit, turn the drive up a bit. Okay, so that has a range of tones as well. Let's try British Crunch. So if I take this to Topology 2, drive all the way up. Are we getting really any kind of higher gain tones? Class A B now. Not mind-blowing tones, I wouldn't say. Let's try the 4th channel. So this, they're suggesting starting kind of here for modern high gain. One thing that is quite noticeable here that I wasn't getting from the Catalyst, for example, is there's quite a lot of low-end bass rumble, which is, to me, what I think of when I'm playing some of the tube amps that I dig. There's like a lot of heft to stuff. This seems to have a bit more of that. So the extent of the drive available, if I go up to about 75% of the way. Like, that's moving a lot of air, it's feeling really big. I don't know how it's sounding on the camera. That could be a thing. I feel like if you were going for heavy tones, that to me is doing more work than I could get out of the Catalyst, to be honest. Now we're on triode mode. Yeah, I think that settles it for me. If I was going to suggest, because I know some people had some questions about like the Line 6 Catalyst, I think you can get these for reasonable prices, and I think, let me know in the comments if these have reliability issues. But for me, the range of heavy tones that you can get out of this thing, I think are a bit more pleasing in the room, I think, and you've got loads of this big kind of heft. I think part of that must be down to the sheer weight of the thing, and it's got a really quality speaker in there. I think the Celestion 90 and I think you're going to have more headroom with this kind of thing as well. Yeah, I mean, that would be way too loud and would be unfair on my wife. The amount of gain you've got available there. So just by itself, I've not delved into the Line 6 link stuff. I will do some more of that. But I feel like this could be an option for folks. If you're looking for something relatively inexpensive that could interface with your Line 6 Helix, or could act like what we think we want from an FR speaker, this might actually be more of a way forward than I think some of the other options out there. Possibly. It's heavy, it weighs as much as a real amp, but maybe we do want that if we want to get something enjoyable to play on stage. I don't know, I'm quite impressed at certainly the driven tones. I think are the most impressive part of it. And it feels like it's all hanging together, and it's certainly capable of delivering all these tones in a way, it's not to me sounding like anything is struggling or it's not really getting brittle. I don't know if you turn it up beyond this level what might happen, but my feeling is because you've got such a substantial kind of combo and it's thick and weighty and stuff, I feel like it's gonna hang together a bit better than something less hefty. I don't know, let me know your experiences. Have you had one of these? Did you like them? I think people prefer the DT25, but this, to me, I don't know, this might be the best amp that Line 6 made. So you've got this power amp in and level here. I think that might be the thing that would be useful for guys that have got a modeler. So if you're using like a Fractal or Line 6 or anything, I guess, you've got this Line 6 link thing, which I guess would be pretty crucial for chaps with a Helix. You've got MIDI in and MIDI out. I don't know how many actual presets you've got in there. I feel like it's probably not a ton. I'll take a look at the MIDI implementation, probably throw that up here. You've also got kind of 4 ohm output, 8 ohm output, and 16 ohm output. I think that is a nice feature, so you could use an extension cab with that if you needed to, which is something you don't get on the kind of Catalyst and stuff.